Welcome to our recipe on making perfect Southern-style grits. Grits are a beloved dish in Southern cuisine, known for their creamy texture and comforting flavor. In this audio guide, we'll take you through each step of the cooking process, from boiling the liquid to serving up a delicious bowl of grits. Along the way, we'll share tips and tricks to ensure your grits turn out just right. So grab your ingredients and let's get started on this culinary journey. Alright, let's get started with our grits. First, we're using 1 cup of stone-ground grits. These are key for authentic, flavorful grits, unlike the instant or quick-cooking varieties which don't have the same texture or taste. Next, you'll need 4 cups of liquid. You can use just water, but I like to use a mix of water and milk, 2 cups of each. The milk adds a wonderful creaminess. Just remember to be careful with milk because it can scorch if the heat is too high. Then we have 1 teaspoon of salt. This will help bring out the natural flavor of the corn. Don't worry, we'll taste and adjust the seasoning later if needed. Optional but highly recommended, we have 1 tablespoon of butter. This will give the grits a rich, silky texture. For extra creaminess, you can add half a cup of heavy cream or half and half during the last few minutes of cooking. It's optional, but it makes the grits so luscious. Finally, think about your toppings. Butter and cheese are classic choices. Cheddar or Parmesan work well. You can also add cooked bacon, sausage, shrimp, or vegetables to make it a hearty meal. So, with these ingredients ready, let's start cooking. Now, let's move on to the first step of cooking, boiling the liquid. Take a medium saucepan and pour in your 4 cups of liquid. You can use just water, but for extra creaminess, I recommend a mix of water and milk. So 2 cups of water and 2 cups of milk. Bring this mixture to a boil over medium heat. It's important to keep an eye on it because milk can scorch if the heat is too high or if it's left unattended. A 50-50 mix of water and milk works really well and adds a nice creaminess to the grits. Once it starts to boil, we're ready to add the grits. Alright, now that our liquid is boiling, it's time to add the grits. Gradually whisk in 1 cup of stone-ground grits into the boiling liquid. Whisking as you add them helps prevent lumps from forming, which is really important for smooth, creamy grits. Remember, stone-ground grits are the way to go for the best texture and flavor, even though they take a bit longer to cook than quick cooking or instant grits. It's worth the wait, trust me. As the grits start to cook, make sure to stir frequently. This prevents them from sticking to the bottom of the pan and helps break up any lumps that might form. Using a whisk at this stage can be especially helpful to keep the grits smooth. We'll keep stirring and reduce the heat shortly. Next, reduce the heat to low. We want to simmer the grits gently. As they simmer, continue to stir frequently. This is crucial to prevent the grits from sticking to the bottom of the pan and clumping together. Cooking grits slowly over low heat is the secret to getting them tender and creamy. So don't rush this part. Let them take their time. Stirring frequently, especially in the beginning, helps keep everything moving and prevents any sticking. Remember, patience is key here. Cooking over low heat and giving it time will reward you with the perfect consistency. Now, let's season the grits. Add 1 teaspoon of salt to the simmering grits. This will help enhance their natural flavor. Continue to simmer the grits, stirring occasionally, for about 30 to 45 minutes until they are tender and have absorbed most of the liquid. If you notice that the grits are becoming too thick before they are fully cooked, don't worry. Just add a little more water or milk, about 1/4 cup at a time, and continue cooking. Grits tend to thicken as they cook, so it's perfectly normal to need to add more liquid. Keep an eye on the texture and don't hesitate to add more liquid if they start to dry out before reaching that perfect tender consistency. For extra creamy grits, we'll add some butter and cream now. During the last 10 minutes of cooking, stir in 1 tablespoon of butter and half a cup of heavy cream or half and half. This will make the grits wonderfully rich and silky. Butter and cream add a lot of richness, but you can adjust these based on your preference for calories and fat content. If you prefer, you can use less or even skip them entirely. Experiment with different combinations of liquids, water, milk, broth, or cream to find the texture and flavor that you like best. Everyone has their own perfect blend. Now it's time to taste and adjust the seasoning. Take a small spoonful of the grits and see how they taste. If they need more salt, go ahead and add a bit more. You can also add pepper or other seasonings to taste. Grits absorb seasoning well, so don't be afraid to add a bit more salt if needed. For extra flavor, you can even add a splash of hot sauce if you like a bit of heat. Adjust to your preference, making sure the grits are seasoned perfectly for your taste. Now, it's time to serve up those delicious grits. Make sure they're nice and hot when you plate them. You can get creative with the toppings. Try adding some additional butter, grated cheese like cheddar or Parmesan, or maybe even some crispy cooked bacon or sausage on top. For a classic Southern dish, consider serving the grits with shrimp for a delightful meal known as shrimp and grits. Alternatively, they pair wonderfully with breakfast foods like eggs and bacon. And remember, for the perfect grits every time, opt for stone-ground grits. They offer the best flavor and texture. Avoid instant or quick-cooking grits if you want that authentic Southern taste. Enjoy your creamy, flavorful grits.